Our guys' injuries from the game. Jordan Reed had the ankle and then a knee. Didn't come back. Mosley had a concussion, and Zacha had a quad, and Jet left there in the fourth with just upper ribs. Go ahead.
Kyle, what did you say to your team in the locker room just now, and what's the mood there? I got to think that it's a lot different than what it was a week ago in the same place.
Our guys were excited last week too. You know that we had a lot more injuries last week, so they did have mixed emotions. But the guys were fired up today. We've been on the road for a while. We're real excited to get on this plane, celebrate a little bit, and get back to our families. What I said to them, I was just so happy about the team win. I mean, the offense to control the ball the way we did, to not punt in the game or have a turnover in the game. The defense to have 3 turnovers. I think they kept them out of the red zone the entire game. And then special teams, I thought played very well, obviously, minus the snaps. We didn't punt, but, the kickoffs, I think we had 3 stopped inside the 20, which is a pretty big deal. All the kickoff returns were touchbacks. So I was just really happy with everyone across the board, and especially losing some of the guys early, losing Jordan and stuff, who was a big part of the game plan, and for Ross Dwelly to come in and step it up and make some plays, and losing Jet there a little bit in the second half. I know it was kind of out of hand then, but Jeff Wilson came in and made some big plays too. Hasty got a couple carries, so and I was happy with Ayuk also. Struggled a little bit in the first half and got going on that opening drive I think he had in the third quarter, and really made some good plays for us today.
Kyle, what were your impressions of Nick Mullins? It seemed like he was had things pretty under control throughout the game and looked like he wanted to attack the Giants.
Yeah, Nick was great. I mean, he's very poised. We went on a lot of long drives today, which they're better than not scoring, but the long drives can get a little bit exhausting, especially for me. I don't want to have to call that many plays, but Nick kept his composure. We had a number of penalties, it seemed like, especially on second down. I think they're in the red zone inside the 10. I think it was, I forget which quarter it was, but I know we went on a 116-play drive without a third down. Nick was real impressive on that, just his execution and how consistent he was all day.
Kyle, what are you referring to specifically about Brandon Ayuk's struggles in the first half? And was it a concerted effort there on that first drive of the third quarter to feed him not only in the passing game but also in the running game?
I probably shouldn't have said that because the struggles are to my own standard and kind of how I am with these guys a little bit. There's just a couple plays I want them to do a little bit better on, but by no means were they bad to where anyone else would have noticed. And I just thought he was a lot more aggressive in the second half in some of his routes and things, even when he didn't get the ball. So what was your other question?
Concerted effort to get him going in the third quarter.
Not really. I don't think much like that. I mean, it was more what they were doing, and he was out there as their starting X, and he was out there when the plays were being called, and we got a few better looks for him in coverages, and he was number one on a bunch, and we got the right look, and Nick delivered the ball.
Kyle, what's your concern level with Jordan Reed, the injury he had today?
I don't know yet, but he came back from the ankle, so he was good enough to come back from the ankle and play, but quickly he ended up getting the knee, so I'm not as sure exactly the extent of it. I feel pretty optimistic it's not going to be anything long term or anything like that, but we'll find out tomorrow.
Kyle, just considering the injury situation and everything like that, how happy are you to be at 2-1 right now? I know week 1 got away, obviously, but just all things considered.
I was real happy with this week. It's losing that many guys last week and just the way it kind of happened. Well, it just made us a little bit emotional to start and to pull together throughout the week. And I just got a real good energy and vibe from the guys on Wednesday. By the time we started practicing, all the way to last night at the hotel meeting before the games, and then today, I thought they played very hard all 4 quarters, and I was very proud of our team. And I was last week too, the way it started last week with some of that stuff, and to kind of overcome that and to keep grinding through it. And it feels good to be back here and do it 2 weeks in a row, and can't wait to get back home now.
Kyle, is Kyle Nelson dealing with a physical injury, or is there something else going on?
Not that I know of. I don't think so. We know he obviously struggled today. He's done a real good job throughout his whole career, and he's helped us out a ton. But today wasn't that case. Fortunately, it didn't end up costing anything.
Hi, Kyle. When you talk about the timing on those reverse runs, I know Debo ran a lot of those last season. Does Brandon Ayuk give you anything different? And when Debo comes back, will it be nice to have a guy who's a physical runner like him combined with what Brandon brought today?
Yeah, the more guys you can have who can run the ball, and the more guys you have who can catch the ball, it gives you a lot of options when you're putting things together, and it also helps you a lot when you have injuries too. I think today showed a lot about our depth. Also, just some of the guys who stepped up and did some things, and hopefully we can keep playing this way and slowly but surely get a lot of these guys back as we move forward.
Hey, Kyle, you had talked to Art, that you still had a good team and you still had a lot of depth. All that being said, does 36-9 and just the way you completely outclassed them surprise you at all?
No, nothing against them at all. But we had a real good week of practice, and we were pretty confident last night. And I know the way it ended up, but by no means was that easy. Those drives were grinds. We didn't punt today and we didn't turn it over, but man, it didn't feel like that. Like, we had to work for a lot of stuff, and they kept us out of the end zone a number of times. Fortunately, our defense was able to get some turnovers, but that's a good team. It got away a little bit there at the end, but I was real proud of our guys, and that was our plan. We came in and wanted to do that, thought we could do it, and I was proud of the guys for pulling it off.
Kyle, sort of similar question, but you were saying immediately after last week's game that you've got good players. You certainly spoke about some of the guys who could step up, but was this important just to tell the coaching staff, yourself, and the team too, that you can have a successful season after the injuries? That was this a step for you guys mentally?
Yeah, the more situations you go through or you have success and stuff, it always gives you confidence in everything, and you get stronger with that stuff as the year goes. I think, we got better. We weren't the same team in week 1 last year that we were in week 7. When each time we won and we stacked those up, our team got a lot more confidence. And there's only one way that happens: you play good and you win. And we've had 2 good games here in a row, and I think our team does have a lot more confidence over that. Everyone. I'm trying not to keep talking about it, but the injuries were a huge topic last Monday and Tuesday. But kind of what we're talking about now is really what we started going through on Wednesday. We talked about a lot of stuff. A lot of the players in the room, the way we went out and practiced on Wednesday just gave us a lot more confidence. Thursday made us even stronger, and then we had a great Friday too. So I mean that in terms of those 3 days that we had down there at the Greenbrier. Our team kind of expected this, and you still got to go out and do it and stuff. But we had a lot of confidence coming into this game, and hopefully that can lead us to next week having some too.
Kyle, obviously you have to go back and watch a little bit of tape, but were you happy with the performance that you saw from a guy like Jason Verrett amid the injuries to the cornerbacks?
I was so happy for Jason Verrett. Jason Verrett is a stud. He's been a great player in this league, and he's been through more, and maybe even more than Jet has here in the last couple of years, I was so glad that he came back with our team. He got an opportunity. He played great in camp. Then had that hamstring the last week, and that really set him back. And he got his opportunity today, and he had a great week of practice. It was awesome watching him on those 3 days. I felt like he was going to do a really good job today, and then he did. And just seeing him after the game and seeing how happy he was and stuff, he really earned it. He deserves it, and pumped he's on our team.
Kyle, this felt like a game where Jerick McKinnon really had the opportunity to show what you've seen in him and why you've stuck with him, even through all the injuries. Can you just talk a little bit about his performance today?
Yeah, I thought Jet and Jeff played a great game. I'm sure their stats weren't that great. Our running game wasn't as good as it has been. They got some pretty big dudes inside. They had a real good scheme. They played a run game very well. I felt like a couple runs we got going, and then we had some penalties on it. But when they got the looks, they hit it good. And I'll watch it again on the plane, and I thought sometimes they got a little bit more than it was blocked for too. And what they continue to do, and both of them, and Jet especially in the pass game, is a ton for us. And Jet probably would have finished pretty good there at the end, but he got a little banged up, and it was nice that 2 plays I was calling for Jet, a screen and then a little slant to him. He just went out the play before it, and Jeff Wilson came in, and he got both of them, and he did just as good of a result as I think Jet would have. So it's been cool to watch, and it was also nice getting Hasty in there a little bit at the end.
You talked about how happy you were for Jason Verrett, but it seemed like the Giants, they couldn't really challenge you guys downfield. How impressed were you, not just with Jason, but also Dante Johnson coming in on short notice?
Oh, that was huge too. I mean, being down at corner, Akello getting hurt in individual last, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and Jason in his first week back, and then losing Mosley there during the game to the concussion early. We were down, and for Dante to come in, Dante was here our first year together, came back last year and helped us, and got a lot of confidence in him. He's played a lot of football. He's been in a number of places, and the game's not too big for him. He came in there and did his job, and also saw him make a few plays. I think I saw him have a big PBU right when he got in, and he's a guy who's played a lot of football, and we definitely feel comfortable with him out there.
2 more, please.
How many long snapping attempts does Justin School get per practice or per training camp?
I wish I could tell you. I promise you I don't know. We were just looking at the other options. Obviously, Kyle was struggling in that game. And kind of when you struggle, you get the yips a little bit on that. And, so we wanted to see who else could do it. And Tower told me School is good at it. McGlinchey's someone who also does it. And we put School in there at the end. And from what I saw, it was a pretty good snap. So he did a hell of a job, and we were able to get that point.
Kyle, on Nick, there was some talk this week about his improved arm strength. Did you see that, particularly on some of those throws in small windows in the middle of the field? And what does that do for his confidence?
I'm with Nick every day. I know everyone else probably hasn't seen him since last preseason, or if you missed then it was the year before. So, I couldn't tell you. I see him every day, so that's not a big difference to me. He's improved in a lot of areas since his first year. But Nick has, regardless of his arm strength, he can make every single throw in this that we need him to make. He did a hell of a job of it today. His arm strength with his preparation and everything, that's why he gets the ball in the right spots, and he doesn't hesitate. When he sees it, he lets it rip, and not only did he execute a lot of stuff today, but he made a number of off-schedule plays too. Hitting Jet McKinnon down on that corner late. He wasn't in the route on that. They covered everyone real well on the front side, and I don't know if he broke the pocket or not, but he hit a corner down the field late. That was huge, and I was real happy with Nick.